Hey, good morning, everyone. We are scooting in Lakeland, Florida at a local reserve. It is called the Circle B Bar Reserve. We found this place a while ago. It is a nature reserve place where you can walk around on trails. There's bike paths, all kinds of wildlife, birds, alligators, raccoons, turtles, a little bit of everything. And we're going to take you around here for the day. Our first stop today is at the Polk's Nature Discovery Center, and I'm making a lot of noise here, as you can tell, because I'm on this almost like a boardwalk terrain here. It's fun, but they have a welcome center over here before we go out on the paths, where there is a guide who can talk to you and give you advice of where to go. They've been very helpful to me, especially being on the scooter. But I will tell you, I have never had an issue with the scooter. All right, so I did forget that the Nature Center is closed on Monday, and today is a Monday. But inside, I told you there is a guide who can talk to you. There are restrooms in there, and there's like little camps here I think the kids can do and stuff. So we are going to just head out on a path. There's my son Matt, and we're going to go that way. No, we're not. It is blocked off. So we're going to go head out to a spot called Alligator Alley, and one of the things you'll notice is the trees here all have the Spanish moss on them, and they are very old. Do not know how old. If you wanted to know, I don't know. So here we go. Let's go have fun. From the main parking area, as you can see in through the trees right here in front of me, there are a bunch of places that are covered that you can have cookouts or picnics or whatever. So there are a couple things to take note. One, the scooter trails. Right now I am on almost like a pressed gravel, but it's eventually going to turn into a dirt trail. And I've been here multiple times. I've never had an issue getting the scooter through. Most of the paths are accessible for disabled. There are a few areas that were tough. We've had to pick up the scooter just to get it up over a bump or some exposed roots. But overall, I've never had an issue. The paths are well marked. There's signs telling you how far to everything. And again, we are headed to Alligator Alley. As you can see, our little cement sidewalk is coming to an end. It will be all dirt path from here. It'll be bumpy, but it'll be fun. Lots of birds already flying overhead. They have signs posted throughout about no fishing. The biggest thing is there are no pets allowed. You do not want to bring a dog here or any other type of pet on a leash, as they will become more bait than anything. Coming up to our first nature sign, these are all the different butterflies we may be able to see here. We may see none of them, we may see all of them, but it does give us a guide of the butterflies. There'll be a guide for fish, for birds eventually. And we do see a lot of dragonflies here for some reason. This is the path on the way to the Alligator Alley, and we're in all these oak trees with Spanish moss all over them. I would recommend bug spray most of the time, most of the year here. We, of course, did not apply it, so who knows what we'll get bit by. As long as we don't get bit by alligators. The path opened up. It was a pretty rough ride on the scooter, but the scooter did get through. With as much rain as we've been having, a lot of the roots are washed out, so it made for a little hectic ride. So we are coming up on Alligator Alley. We will be from here 2 miles from where we're parked. So now it's just kind of, we keep our eyes open, looking both sides of the path, but the path will look like this most of the way, more wide open than the path we were just on. We should see a lot of hawks. There's a lot of water fowl, and hopefully we see some alligators. So we have a sign here that talks about the alligators. And to be careful, it tells you kind of there, like April, is courtship, May is breeding, June, July is egg laying, August, September is hatching and guarding of the young. So it is September right now. So we have to be careful of that. Very protective alligators right now. So we've got our first gator. It's going to be hard to see. And he's just floating around out there on the water. He's not doing much. Hopefully we get to see some in closer. We do have some waterfowl right in front of us, drying out his wings. And Mr. Alligator's just going to swim around out there. A little ways into Alligator Alley, they have this area where we can go out onto it. It's a little rough on the scooter, so give me a minute. So this takes us out off the path, and if you can see right where Matt is, he's getting right up near this bird, and there it goes. So there's another bird right there. He just ducked under the water. There are gators out there. It looks like a pretty decent sized one. There's one just popped up right in front of us. See if we can get a closer look at this guy. He doesn't look to be too big. Got a couple alligators. One right here. There's another one swimming around out there. And there's another one way out there somewhere. And there's a few out this way. They're all not on land yet. This water is like glass, so they're easy to find today. There's another sign talking about what's living on the shoreline at Lake Hancock. All the different birds we could see. The restoration progress. So they do a lot of work here all the time. And we got some, little friendly guys out there. So this path has water on both sides. There's a little blue heron over there. But if you just listen, there's birds all around us. There's a woodpecker. He just flew away. What I don't see this time here that I saw last time was hawks. Last time I was here, there was hawks up in the trees, and almost every single one of them had a fish. It must have been breakfast time. So all along this path, there are these benches, but there's also wooden benches too. Here goes a hawk. We are getting into an area where we will start seeing some turtles, and He's a pretty good sized turtle. Just sitting there on the log, sunning himself. Just a little something to point out. Last time I was here, all that green, almost like lily pad vegetation, with the heat and all the rain we've been getting. I was here a month and a half, 2 months ago. This was all open water. None of the green was there. So that's all water under there. We don't know what's hiding under there. Now we're coming to the end of our path of Alligator Alley pretty soon. And we ran into some people who said when they turned down at the beginning, an alligator crossed in front of them. So Matthew just saw this, and I'm going to try to get as close as I can, but there's an alligator in the path. I don't want to startle it, so I'm going to zoom in a second. So we could be here for a little bit. He's just sitting there. So we're not going to be able to go too much further.
You see this guy?
So I just noticed that Mama over here, if you see all these little things around her, I don't think we're going to be able to move much further. There's all little babies around her, and she is going to get very defensive. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, but if you can see all around her, there's babies moving around her face. We could be here a while. Just give you an idea of how close we are. We're probably 60 to 70 feet from the mama. And you can see the little babies. There's one right there, about 15 feet closer than she is. But she's a big girl. I don't know how much longer we'll be able to stay here, but we're only about a half a mile from the car. So if we turn around, we will have to go about 2 miles back the other way. But she is not looking like she's going to move anytime soon. She's opening her mouth. Usually when they do that, it's because they're hot. This is crazy. We've been sitting here now for about 10 to 15 minutes. And that's the first movement she's made. So she's really opening her mouth wide now. This is crazy.
She's growling.
I don't think she's happy with us being this close. She's got her head up. Well, we did see on that first sign that it was hatching protective season. And here we are, encountering it on our own. This is still really cool. We're at Circle B Bar Reserve in Lakeland, Florida. There she goes. We're going to give it time for her to go in, though. We can still hear her. I'm going to get it on video. Hold on. I'm checking to see if I can see it. No, she had to have gone in the water. Oh, there's one right there. Oh shit.
We can't be there. We gotta get going. We gotta get going.
Okay.
I'm still scared.
Okay. We got through very quickly. We saw some babies still, so Mama is not far. We have not seen anybody else come through to warn. So let's hope nobody gets hurt today. One thing we are seeing on this path today because of all the rain is a lot of mud. A couple times so far I have had to get off the scooter and we've driven it through without my weight on it. But overall the scooter has really done well, and it just goes to show me that it's a pretty good scooter, and apparently it's all terrain. A lot more has opened up since the last time we came. To the left, this path right here is Eagle Roost, and it's a 2.5 mile loop back to the center. Straight ahead is Marsh Rabbit Run. This is where we were told there was going to be a mama with babies, so the one we encountered was not the planned one. This is the path we went on the first time we came here. But we are headed to Heron Hideout, which is a 1/2 mile this way to the center, and we still may see some more gators. And this should be the last sign we see before we head back to the truck. But this is all the birds of the marsh. We've seen most of these. And there's something right there. Some kind of lizard. They were playing tag. Not sure what that is. We are headed back to the car now. We're going to load the scooter up and head home. But that was very exciting. A couple things. From the accessibility standpoint, again, I talked about it. There was some very muddy areas. A couple areas we had to have me get out of the scooter. But overall, I got through everything. With all the rain, there's been a lot of roots showing. It was very bumpy at some spots. But if you're in the Lakeland area and you want to come see some crazy wildlife, you never know what you're going to see. Come on out to Circle B Bar Reserve. Well, that's about our day here. Until we scoot again.